Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Necroblade here, back again with a new deck profile, this time with a different guest. What is your name and what have you been toying with?
Hi guys, Remco here from TCG Collectibles. I've been toying with Ferocious Strikes on Goku, the burst free Goku leader.
So I'm looking at this deck, right? So guys, I'm trying to scroll through, considering this deck has a lot of one-ups. Before we get into the card choices, what does the deck? Well, what is the purpose of this deck? Like, what does the deck do? What is its goal?
Basically, what you want to do is awaken as fast as possible, preferably turn 1. So you can manage board control. It has a lot of board wipes, and next to that it has also a lot of hand control cards in there. So basically you want to make sure that the cards of your opponent are not safe in their hand or on the board.
Alright. So I'm scrolling through the deck, and the first card choices that I want to get into is regarding the one-ups. So can you tell me about Android 21, considering it's the only multicolored card in your deck, well, besides the super combo?
Basically that's one of the finishers in the deck. What the deck needs to do in the end is use to save a hopeful future, to get out Android 21, SS Son Goku, or the 5-drop Ruby to finish the opponent.
So basically it's like a multitude of card choices you could use as a finisher with the save a hopeful future, right?
But basically when I know that I can take my opponent down to 1 life and have some way to get save a hopeful future back in my hand with Android 21 in the drop area, I know it's game.
Alright.
Basically.
The next thing I want to get into, how do you feel about only 3 dormant potential, considering you have a deck like Jackson in the meta, or like red good stuff being very aggressive? How do you feel about just 3?
It's still something that I'm toying with. I now play one of Shocking Death Ball in there, basically because that's also a free card with the burst free leader. Dormant potential only is free when you actually have a unison card in play. So I'm still toying around. It could go 2-2 or even 4-0 for that matter.
It pretty much explains as well with like for the greater good at 2 and Shocking Death Ball at 1.
True.
Okay.
I mean, for the greater good, you burst a lot of things to your drop area with this deck, and having the potential to actually use for the greater good from your drop area to negate a killing attack, that would be awesome. So that's why it's in there.
Alright. The next thing I want to get into, how do you feel about the 3-1 ratio when it comes to the super combos? Why do you feel that you need to run at least 1 Dr. Gero?
Well, the one Dr. Gero is there to actually get the Master Roshis or the Son Goku Draw Ape into the drop area. If you don't have them yet, then you need them. So that's why 1 Gero, it's actually just another way to get Roshi and Son Goku into the drop area. I think that Vegeta, the Lone Prince, is really a good option in this deck, mainly because you also have the Dispo in your deck, which can get those back into play again. So basically what you can do with the 1-drop super combos, the Vegetas, is play them, super combo them, then get them back with hasty dispatch Dispo again, and do it all over again.
Alright, that's fair, that's fair. The next thing that I want to get into is regarding the unisons. How do you feel about running 2 different unisons, and why do you prioritize on 4 copies of Frieza and 3 copies of Bardock instead of like the other way around, for example?
Basically because the first activate main on Golden Frieza is it draws you a card and you get to choose a card from your hand that you want to get in your drop area and put them on top of your deck and then attack with your leader. Basically that's why Golden Frieza is in there, and that's why it's better than the Bardock. The Bardock is just there as an alternative finisher.
The card that I kind of skipped over by accident, but I actually am curious about is considering the leader can like can awaken potentially at 8 life. Why did you feel the need to add cards like Zarbuto in there? Was it for the aggressive potential, or like is it genuine
No.
self-awaken?
Basically, it's mostly used when people just refuse to attack you. Attack me, then there's almost no way for me to actually get awakened. And with the Zabuto, I can actually awaken and still get to draw those cards and make sure that I have the board control that I need.
That's fair. Another thing that I that I just thought about, right? Considering I see that you have 3 different 5 green drops, why weren't you, for example, running a multitude of copies of a specific card, but rather 3 different lone copies of them? Like just 1 Ribian, just 1 SS Goku, just 1 Android 21. Why not, for example, 2 Ribian or like 2 Goku? I don't know. Is there a specific reason? Is it just to adapt to every situation?
Not really. I think that probably Ribian is the better choice because it has triple strike. It also helps with the strategy. If my opponent goes aggressive, then they have to attack Ribian first if it's in rest mode. The other thing that Goku has is that it cannot be removed from the battle area by skills. So it's a double strike they have to deal with by attacking it.
That's fair. Now,
and the other 5-drop you mentioned, I think, is Android 21,
yeah,
which
21.
basically just basically that one is in there. If you get your opponent to 1, bring it out and you won the game.
Yeah, this is basically a guaranteed damage dealer.
Without attacking, which is so it cannot be negated unless they find a way to blank the text box when it comes out.
Fair enough, like Cold Bloodlust or a Frost-Steady Poison. So, the last remaining cards I want to get into is a very interesting engine, Tokitoki engine, but I only see just the blocker Kai. So I'm not seeing Kami, I'm not seeing Dendy, I'm just seeing 3 copies of that. Why is that? Why is it just Tokitoki? Why not just 4 copies of the Kai, or why not other cards like Kami for utility or something?
Basically, the Supreme Kai draws you a card, of course, so it's a blocker, which makes it a good choice to actually get the turn 1 awakening. Tokitoki is indeed a 4th copy of that card, but also allows you to shuffle your deck. So, for instance, if you go later into the game and you don't have any cards you want in your drop area, and you use your freeze anywhere because you need to draw a card, and you put something back on top, you can shuffle it so that potentially doesn't get hit into your drop area.
Alright. How do you feel about Jiren, Army of 1?
To be honest, I only used it once so far. I don't think this deck has a lot of draw power in there. I mean, yeah, the 1-drops draw you a card and the leader draws you a card, so if you don't find the Frieza fast, you don't draw. Well, Frieza doesn't even gain you card advantage, so basically we're almost always low on cards, which makes it a good finisher. If you have it in hand, you can combo most of your cards defensively, and then on your turn you can play it.
That's fair. And then Black Smoke is in there as extra hand control, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's there for hand control, it's there for board control, and it's even there for, well, actually I used all the options that I can have from this.
So it's pretty much the best one for this deck's purpose, basically.
Yes, I do believe so. I mean, if you don't find your engine for safe hope for future, but you do find this one, which basically means you can clear the board. If they don't deal with it, you can actually choose 4 cards the next turn, and then basically they don't have a hand on the board, which basically means you can do anything you want.
All right. So currently, how do you feel about the whole deck right now? Like, how does it play? Like, how do you feel it performs against other decks?
I think it's doing pretty okay. I mean, VJax will be a problem, of course. It will stay a problem. I do think that I have a lot of potential ways to actually slow the game down to where I'm comfortable. And if I can awaken turn 1, I have at least 3 board wipes only on the leader already. With more board wipes in the deck. And with all the hand control, they don't have a lot of cards in the hand as well. So I don't know. I think it can stand a chance. To be honest, I haven't tested it against VJax yet. But I'm hoping to test it against you at some point, Ryan.
All right. So, but currently you feel like the build is okay, but still, you know, open for like fine tuning and stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly gonna be the package of the negates. Those might switch around a little bit. I'm not entirely sure about Quick Sweep Android 17. I mean, yeah, sure, I can play it from my drop area. Which is fine. If I burst it turn 1 and I don't have a 1-drop in my hand, I can play it from the drop, of course, and have a potential candidate to actually awaken on when my opponent attacks.
Fair enough.
But that's one of the cards that also is still in consideration to be cut.
All right, that's fair.
And maybe I even want to play a 4th Supreme Kai of Time number.
I mean, considering it has the potential to awaken turn 1, I'm quite surprised you weren't running 4 copies of that.
Yeah, but you're running so many 1-drops in here that I didn't believe that I really needed it. I mean, if you have a hasty dispo in your hand, you attack with your leader, you burst one of the blockers, you use dispo, you get the blocker in play, or you draw a blocker. So potentially you have at least 8 ways to get one of the blockers in play on turn 1.
All right, I think we've covered pretty much the whole deck. Well, thank you for letting me interview you regarding the deck. Do you have any shoutouts?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to Team CCG Collectibles, of course, with team owner Renee. Shout out to my teammates, Ryan, Diego, Manny. Shout out to the rest of our sponsors, Ultimate Guard, Tokitoki Dice, and shout out to all of you guys.
Alright, thanks for watching. Hope to see more of you, Remco, because we haven't had you a lot on the channel yet. I hope to see you guys in the next deck profile. Stay safe and stay blessed.
Hey guys.